On the way for Scott.
Yeah, hi David.
Hi there, how you doing?
Can we start with team news? Is Jarrod Bowen back and any other issues?
Jarrod Bowen's back training, so there's a good chance that Jarrod will be available. We'll still need to just monitor him right up to see how he is, but hopefully Jarrod's back and fit. We've got a couple of issues with the centre halves. Naif won't be available, he's not ready yet. Dinos has got a chance, so we need to try and see how Dinos is, but again really tight, and obviously quick turnaround is regarding the start of a game early in the morning, so hopefully they'll be fine.
After the Palace game you said it was hard to put the first half performance into words. You used the word atrocious. When the dust settled, what's the conversations like, what's the reaction been like since?
Well, the conversations will be private between me and the players, but I wouldn't change my wording, that's for sure, because that's the way I felt. I felt as if we'd let an awful lot of supporters down on the day, but overall, Palace played well and we didn't. We were very poor. So what we want is a reaction from the players. We want them to show what it means to play for West Ham, a bit of pride, and hopefully we can show that.
Back in front of home fans tomorrow, so a good opportunity to do that. And Liverpool on the back of first derby defeat since you're in charge of Everton. Do you enjoy that game and pleased for your club that record's been broken?
Well, look, I'm working for West Ham. I want West Ham to win the games. I wish we'd won it, but I have to say it was a huge result for Everton. Not because they beat Liverpool, but I think for them staying up in the Premier League. I think for the way things have happened to Everton this season, they've been deducted 8 points. They'd have been safe if it wasn't so that the game in some ways wouldn't have meant anything. But to beat Liverpool in a derby is a huge thing, and congratulations to Sean Dyche.
Europe's still very much on for you, especially if 7th is going to be
enough.
The stakes are really high for both clubs tomorrow, aren't they?
Well, look, we're 8th in the Premier League at the moment. We've got 4 games to go. We're just about to go into May. It's an incredible position we've been in for nearly all the season. We've also found ourselves, obviously competing in Europe, which sometimes it isn't mentioned, but I think we've probably played maybe 12 or 13 games more than any teams who weren't in Europe. Certainly that's the thing. Liverpool have played a lot of games, but if we're being fair, I think Liverpool have been used to it over many, many years. But from our point of view, we're in there, we're still in with a shout with 4 games to go, and we'll keep trying to make Europe. It would be a great achievement if we could do it 4 years in a row.
And finally from me, I know you've said plenty of times the contract decision was made at the end of the season, but firstly, is it still your decision? Because speculation's ramped up a bit this week. And if it is, obviously there's one of 2 outcomes. If you were to go, would it be a shame if the decision was made after the end of the season? You'd become a club legend, you would be able to get a proper send-off there.
Look, the most important thing is things would need to be right between me and the club. And if we get that right, then we'll see what happens, but it'll be the end of the season. You can continue to ask me the questions and I'm happy to take them, but it's not as if I've changed track in any way. We've always said it would be made at the end of the season, and as far as I'm concerned, that'll still be the decision.
Yeah, you literally mean right after the final game of the season?
Yes, that's the way I see it being, yes, and that was something which me and the board were happy to do.
Charlie, PLP.
David, just going back to the game on Sunday, obviously it was 4 goals conceded inside 31 minutes. So for tomorrow's game, is that one of the things that you have stressed to the team, that the start needs to be really good from the off?
Yeah, it is. Our start was incredibly good against Bayer Leverkusen. We got in front and probably should have been 2 or 3 goals up. So it's not as if it's a regular thing, the way the question's been put over, but what I would say is that I was ashamed that we were 4 down after 30 minutes. I really was. I don't think my teams over the years have done that, so I don't like it, didn't like it at the time, and certainly didn't like it after the event either. I hope that I can make sure that doesn't happen in the future, but in football you never can tell. We need to defend better generally, and that comes from number 1 to number 11 on the team.
I know you said you want to see a reaction from the players tomorrow, but what have you seen from them that you think?
Well, it's quite difficult because I've been around football a long time, seen a lot of games, been involved with managing a lot of games, and players can be different. Sometimes they might not say too much, but they perform greatly. Sometimes they can show it in training and it doesn't work. So there is no magic formula to say how you get back on track. But a good dose of hard work, commitment, determination, all the basics you would hope that the players would put in, is probably a good place to start.
I mean, in terms of Liverpool, obviously results haven't really gone their way recently. competitive, not completely out of the title race, but it will be difficult for them. So, what kind of a challenge are you expecting from them tomorrow?
Well, I find it difficult to accept that Liverpool are out of the title race. I would think that Liverpool are heavily in the title race. You know, they had a bad result, but other teams have got to play big games, you know, under pressure to win the games. We saw a magnificent performance last night from Manchester City against Brighton. But I think Liverpool are right in there. I think they've done a really good job, Liverpool, in the league campaign this year, and maybe surprised a few people, but I don't think they surprised me, because I think they're a football club which tend to be always challenging in and around winning things or competing at the top end.
And finally for me, obviously you mentioned the game against Bayern Leverkusen, the atmosphere inside the stadium was incredible on that night. So again, will this be another game where you need your fans behind you, creating a great atmosphere? And it's an early kickoff, but
Yeah.
you know, just to spur the team on.
Well, look, the Sunday 2 o'clock kickoffs have never been great, I've got to say. So I'm hoping the Saturday morning 12:30, maybe they're still a wee bit hungover from the Friday night with a bit of luck, and ready to go on Saturday. Just like the team need to be, we need to be ready to go on Saturday morning as well, and hopefully the supporters are as well.
Okay, we'll turn the cameras up and we'll open it up to the written.